Hey guys, welcome to the Gedunk. It's episode 7 on Survivor.
That's right. Who's next on the chopping block?
That's right.
There's a lot of discussion in this one too, man. This is another one of those episodes where the editing definitely tries to leave you super guessing on who's going to get kicked out and who's safe. You know, they lead you to believe one person at first, and all of a sudden, like last minute before travel, they're like, oh crap, they're throwing this other name out there. Just like they did last week.
So starts off like every episode, people are talking about Lydia getting kicked off, and some people are feeling insecure. They're trying to secure their connections and form their group.
Mm-hmm. And some people are thinking that they're on the outs, and they're getting really paranoid, which is very obvious in this episode, right? You got old Romeo kind of getting on everybody's nerves with his paranoia. Especially with Drea, because he's like, oh, me and Drea were super tight, now she won't talk to me anymore, and then she wasn't talking, and she's like, dude, chill out, man. You're being freaking paranoid. But she won't even look
at him anymore.
Yeah, won't even look at me. You won't look at me, Drea.
And what's funny is that when he said that to her,
she wasn't looking at him.
She wasn't looking at him.
You still got this main group, and they're picking up where they left off last week and say, hey, our target is still the same. We got to get rid of either Chanelle or Tori.
Yeah.
So that's the hit list right now. And then like maybe Romeo is like the third person.
He's the third party. I mean, Mike is all about getting rid of Chanelle.
Oh yeah, he's still pissed off about the backstab.
Yeah, he's holding a grudge big time.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, they're all
really
pretty.
About that one boat.
They're all pretty much on team. Let's get rid of Tori.
Yeah, he ain't letting that go.
I don't think you're gonna sway him at all.
No. Yeah, so you have that conversation. And of course, Marianne's crying because she's like, she feels like she's on the outs, which of course last week her name did come up. But, she's crying a little bit like, I just, feel like I did in elementary school. Just nobody likes me. And, I just, so same old Marianne drama, we're getting from her.
She loves to create drama.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she does. And it's all around herself, usually.
So we get to the reward challenge. Last week they get Applebee's, not so much this week.
Right. I mean, we say it's week 7, but it's episode 7. It's day 16.
Day 16, yeah.
So you can't beat them Applebee's every day. You know what I mean? So you gotta tone it down with a PB&J.
This is probably for a season where they don't get rice to start out with. This is probably like the most fat and happy freaking group I've ever seen. Man, they've been getting a lot of food.
But that's the thing is they don't have the rice.
They don't, but they've been getting a lot of other stuff.
Yeah,
they get that
not everybody. Some people haven't had anything.
Well, some people. I think at this point everybody's had something.
I mean, Jeff is catching a lot of fish and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Jeff?
Or
Jeff?
Jonathan.
Jeff's out there pulling.
He might be. He probably is. Probably on a yacht somewhere.
Yeah, Jonathan's been out there spearfishing, catching them, man. He got, and I tell you what, man, they keep showing those clips of the black tip reef sharks. I'm like, why don't you get one of them bad boys, man? That'd be enough to feed them for a bit. That'd be
I have a feeling they include a lot of stock footage of animals and stuff like that. Maybe they're on the island, maybe they're not, or maybe they send a crew ahead of time to see what they can find. I don't know.
That could be true.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But
these PB&Js don't look bad though.
They're pretty big.
They look pretty darn good.
Yeah, that was some thick bread too, man.
I'm
That's
craving a PB&J after watching that myself.
Yeah, that was a good looking PB&J, isn't that about it?
Yeah.
And then they look like they just had Lay's potato chips with it, but
nothing wrong with Lay's potato chips.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of that though.
Not a fan of the Lay's?
No. It's not gourmet.
Especially if they're just original.
Right, yeah, I'm not, yeah.
It's not gourmet enough.
I prefer like the barbecue or actually what I really prefer is salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar? Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, let me see salt and vinegar.
I need more info on these chips.
That's right. Well, they salt and vinegar because they look like regular, but then salt and vinegar looks like regular too.
They have a choice. So. What is it? I mean, I think you eat regular with a PB&J. I like salt and vinegar, but when it comes to a PB&J, I think you eat regular potato chips.
I would still have my salt and vinegar.
Nah.
Specialty chips.
Oh, yeah, I'd still have my salt and vinegar.
But anyways, they draw rocks. They draw rocks to form teams. And, of course, one person gets stuck with the gray rock, and that is Marianne.
She gets on the outs.
She looks very disappointed.
But before this, Jeff shows us that on that bench, just like last season, he's going to put the reward, what is what's called?
Advantage.
Yeah, she puts her advantage in the same spot he put it on where Xander was sitting last time, right? But last season Xander never saw it.
But last season it was a common theme throughout the season that during challenges, people would find a letter or something, and during the challenge there was going to be an advantage hidden somewhere. So it was a theme throughout the season to during challenges look around.
Right.
And that's not the theme this time. So I'm really surprised that. How it played out, but
yeah, I wonder if someone stole that. Like if they hidden one underneath something, and then someone's like, "Holy crap! There's something under here." What would happen?
Yeah, did it become theirs then at that point? Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
Like when Mike buried his, somebody else would have come across it and found it, and it's like, oh, not Mike's anymore, right? Yeah.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
That's right.
So Drea switches spots with Marianne because
she didn't like PB&J.
Yeah, she's not a PB&J fan, so She trades out. So even though she's hungry, it still is not
And
enough
I
to
couldn't
convince her to go to
understand
PB&J.
what Marianne said.
But he's a vegetarian, and he's willing to give up his,
What did Marianne say when she said something about reward or when she accepted it? I didn't understand. I couldn't hear what she said, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll accept your exchange."
Then, when I can on a reward, if I can do the favor, I'm going to do it. Okay.
But she gave it some kind of stipulation of some weird. I don't know. It was weird.
It wasn't important.
I guess not.
So they get to the competition, and this is what you got to jump off a platform, maneuver a ball through
Jonathan leaps
obstacle
into the water.
Well, and let's
It starts off with Jonathan.
And let's mention that first too. Whenever Drea said she'd sit out, she wasn't on Jonathan's team.
She wasn't on Jonathan's team, so
Maybe
that
was
was my
calculated.
game.
Right, exactly.
She's like, I'm not on Jonathan's team. I'm going to
I know
lose
how
anyway.
this
I'll just sit out and take
I don't wanna
one for
get
the
in the
team.
water.
Might as well look like a hero in the process
Exactly.
or something.
Exactly.
And she's sitting off on that bench that Xander was on last time. Xander looked like he was looking for it, but he didn't
Somehow
spot
I
it.
didn't find it. Yeah.
But Drea,
Pretty
she
quickly.
spots it.
But then she's like blatantly obvious, like staring at it and
she's
stuff.
pretty
And I'm
obvious.
Trying to
I'm
be
like,
coy
what
about
is
it,
she
but it
doing?
seems to draw more attention if you ask me.
Oh, yeah,
but-
yeah. I mean, luckily for her, they were all too busy paying attention to the game than looking at her, but she was like big time, just giving, I'm like, man, if anybody would have glanced over her and watched her doing that, they'd be like, hey, what's going on over there?
And here's another thing, because then when she got it, she found it, and when she got it, she had to shove it in her pants real quick. But she's wearing these tight gym shorts, like biker shorts. So
Yeah, like biker pants.
do they not think about that when they go on the show? I mean, I know that historically Survivor actually chooses their clothes for them on some level, but can you not wear something with some kind of bagginess to it so that you can hide an idol or an advantage? Because it's kind of, she had to hide it in a very
Hey, man, she had
private place.
Had to hide it.
That's how most people do it.
That's
but-
right.
Yeah.
And that's like first place you see anybody shoving it. They're automatically just like, whoop, shoving it right down the front.
Yeah. No, she hit it no.
But everyone has to go through this, and this has a basketball element at the end, and it's
Yeah.
kind of between rocks. They nominate him to shoot the hoops, and he's going up against
and
Omer.
and Jonathan's in the water to catch the
Yeah.
balls
Yeah,
and
and throw them
send
back. Yep.
And then Jonathan or Rock starts throwing these baskets up, but he's missing it. Omar is sinking them like
Four in a
it's
row.
nothing.
Four in a row.
And Rox can't even get it to the damn basket. He's like way short, man. It's like, what is wrong with
So
you?
Jonathan's watching this disaster because they just need one more ball on the other team, and Jonathan's like, "Let's swap out Rocks." He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
And then he was able to catch up. He sunk them. I don't know if he missed
Dude,
one
might
at
have been
all.
five in a
dude
row.
sunk 5 in a
Yeah,
row.
I think
Dude
he
sunk
At least
5 in
that's
a row.
what they show.
Right. However, he did get up while you could see with him in the water, there were 4 in Omer's.
Oh, yeah.
So he didn't start until they only had one more ball, and he hit all 5 balls before Omer could get that 5th
and the thing is, they swapped out, and Omer could never hit his 5th ball, and maybe that was a mistake that team made. Maybe they should have threw somebody fresh in at that point. Like, okay,
When
Omer,
you
you
see
missed
him
2.
sink 4 in a row, you just it's a matter of time.
Yeah, you think,
But
obviously it wasn't.
He's good, but he ain't good in the clutch apparently. So,
Jonathan got up there, sunk 5 in a row, and boom,
carrying
done.
everybody
Again.
and I think Jonathan, he probably thought he could sink the baskets, but he's like, "Let me be a team player.
Yeah.
I got
Somebody
them
else try.
ahead." So, but he
And
saw
he's
the
like, I
disaster happen.
need my PB&J. Can
it's
I
like-
just shoot the ball, please?
It's like there's not a sport or not an event that dude's not good at, well, except maybe balancing. Last week he showed us he wasn't very good at
Pretty
balancing.
good at that, too.
Last week he did it for a bit, but then he lost it last week. But we saw last week that Tori was pretty dang good at balancing and keeping that stuff. But I mean, other than that, this dude's just a beast at everything. Like no matter what this dude does, man, he's just good at it. Just naturally athletic. And then Mike even says that about him. Mike say, man, Jonathan just got that natural athletic ability in him.
So Jonathan once again carries the team to victory, so they can enjoy their PB&J.
Yep.
And again, that looks
And
pretty dang
they
good.
looked so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And now Drea, is dealing with the advantage, and it says beware, although the beware part is kind
Yeah,
of
that was
bull.
stupid. Yeah.
Like, there's no beware. It's like, hey, this is the location to find the advantage, and the beware is like, someone could spot you as you're looking for it.
Because it's close to where your water's at, so
Right.
somebody could walk up on you while you're looking for it. Yeah, so you don't lose anything from the beware other than risking somebody
Right.
catching you.
Now, the
So
only
that was
interesting part
dumb.
about that is, she had to, stick her hand in this bowl that had red paint in it. So, she had, a red hand when she pulled it out.
Yeah.
And she tried to wash it off with the
She
water
didn't
from the
get it
well,
all.
but she didn't get it
Left a
all.
little bit on the underside there.
And, of course, she goes back to camp, and Tori's like, are you bleeding? What's that red stuff on your hand?
Yeah, I would have been like, yeah, I scraped myself or something. First of all, I would have checked to make sure I got it all off.
That was dumb on her part.
I probably would have done what she did, was cleaned it with the water there, but then
I
I would
don't
have
even
run.
think she jumped in the ocean.
I would have jumped in the ocean for sure.
I wouldn't have taken my time to clean it with the water there because anybody could have walked up. But she's cleaning it with the water bucket where they drink out of. I'd have went right to the ocean, bam, because the ocean's not that far from where she was at. I'd have went and jumped in that water.
If she couldn't get it off, she had her like whatever the bandanas that they have. She could have wrapped around there like something. Like you cover that up.
Well, she could have done a better job of even playing it off too.
Yeah. Right. Then she said, "Oh, it's just paint," and I'm like,
I was using the paint, and they're looking at the paint like that thing doesn't look like it's been used.
Nobody touched that paint. There is no writing on that flag there. Nobody has touched that flag with paint. And
I was just messing with it. Oh, you got to be careful. It gets everywhere. It's nowhere. Nowhere.
Except on you.
It's nowhere.
So Tori is suspicious. She notices that she's also being protective of like her groin area where people know.
She's got a bag covering over.
She
says she thinks she saw something in her pants.
Mm-hmm.
Tori's smart in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah. Tori definitely.
Like, you might fool some people, but you aren't fooling me.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, yeah, and then they go to the immunity challenge. And I love these endurance competitions. I'm a big fan of them.
Mm-hmm.
But just like last season, Jeff brings something and says, hey, I got some rice. You can get individual rice reward, or if enough of you drop out, I'll give you everyone like their share of rice.
Yeah, everybody gets
like 4 days.
Yeah. 4 days of rice for everyone. And and let the negotiations begin, right? So he's negotiating just like he did last season, and he flat out tells us right off the bat, "I want 6." He's like, "Hey, I want to see if I can get these people to go."
He said I would settle for 4.
He tells us that,
Yeah, tells the audience, "Hey, I really want 6. I'll settle for 4, but hey, I'm trying to shoot for 6 here."
I don't think he does a good enough job.
No, he does not.
No,
not at all.
But I do love that they started with 2, and he's like, "No."
That's a non-starter.
And then
it was like 2 to 9.
And then he goes, "I'll counter with 9," and they're like 9, and they're like, "That's a non-starter," and he's like, 2's a non-starter.
Right. Ain't doing no 2.
So he tries to explain to them that 6 is, he thinks it's fair. It's more than half the tribe, or it is half the tribe, and he thinks that's fair. And they're like,
well, see, and that's where they're going up by 1. They're like 3, and he's going down more than 1 at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then he said, like, somebody said 4, and then Omer said 5, and then Omer's like, why did you say 5?
He's like, okay, 4, okay.
4.
So at that point,
he could have gotten 5.
Yeah, Jeff totally could have gotten 5 out of that because Omer mentioned 5, even though they're trying to shut him up, but then as soon as they say 4, just like, okay, cool, 4. Who's the 4? And it's like, what? No, dude, you could have negotiated 5 out of that.
Well, once you said who's the 4,
yep, exactly.
And then 3 people kind of immediately Roger up to it, so you just need one more person.
Yeah, you had Marianne.
If you had 5, that might have been tricky. And I don't know if you would have gotten it.
I think they would have gotten it. I think
I think 2 people would have dropped
remember,
out?
John, because for a minute we were thinking it was going to be Jonathan when we were watching.
Worried.
Jonathan was looking like he was feeling sorry, going to drop out.
I think you can convince him.
Yeah, and had they went 5, he probably would have dropped out with Omer. So, but
so it's like Marianne, Lindsay, Drea, and Omer is the last one that agrees.
Omer very hesitantly agreed to doing that. But,
well, he
but Marianne was like laying it on thick with the tears and like, look, I'm sitting. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe.
Right. But I'm going to sit out for the team.
If it means that you guys can move forward and you have the stamina and the strength to move forward.
Well, then she admitted, and then she admitted to the camera after. Yeah, I was laying it on there thick, hoping that they'd give me a bite.
I think they're smarter than that. I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
because we saw people from last season genuinely do that, and they didn't care really.
Right.
No, I know. Yeah, Xander did more for anybody last season than anybody else did, and no one cared. Yeah, nobody cared.
Yeah,
nobody cared.
Get out of here with that.
Right, exactly.
Survivor is not nice guy.
Yeah. No, it was bad.
So they do the challenge, and High drops like
right
as soon as the competition starts.
I don't think Jeff had even finished talking. Like,
right.
He's like, all right, the challenge starts. Oh, no, it's over.
Hi.
It's over for High.
And a couple other people dropped not too far from that.
Yeah. Mike dropped pretty quick. And then who else? Like you said, it got down to the final 2 pretty dang fast, I thought.
Yeah, it did.
So
it did.
And the final 2 were Tori again, and then
apparently she's good at this kind of stuff.
And Jonathan,
and she looked like she was holding it up pretty well.
No, she was. She had a good hold on it. The way she was holding it, balancing it right up high, where the ball's up here, and she got the sticks here. Whereas Jonathan was like manhandling it like this. It's like, dude, you ain't gonna last long doing that.
I don't know.
Yeah, manhandling it like that.
Tori seemed laser focused on it as well.
Yeah, she was just staring at it, dude. Like she was.
And just like they always do, they go to Jonathan. He's wobbling a little bit, and Jonathan, like, he saved himself quite a few times, from the wobbling, and then from like the ball, like, kind of jerking out of the little even hold, and he was able. I was surprised once that ball starts going like that. I feel like you're done at that point.
Right,
and again, Tori's name is probably thrown out there more than anybody at this point. So
everyone's
she really
hoping,
needs this.
Oh yeah.
But everyone's hoping she drops.
Right.
Like everyone's sitting on that bench going like, just not Tori, just not Tori.
Please,
and of course, Tori goes into beast mode for the second episode in a row and wins. And she's like, "Take my name out your effing mouth because you're going to be nominating somebody else."
That's right.
Oh boy.
Pulled a Will Smith on him.
Yeah.
That's right.
She of course doesn't say that, but that's the vibe I was getting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Roxroy really wanted her out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Now Rox wanted her gone.
Yeah.
Right, and rightfully so, because she stores. She stirs up drama, man. And as we're about to talk about, she does it again this time. Yeah.
Which is weird because those two seem to hate each other, but they're always close to each other, sit next to each other, and they even share information. Come to find out, which it's odd the relationship those two have.
Yeah, exactly.
And Tori's always trying to talk to him, and I guess he gives in every now and then.
Yeah, Tori's an odd one. I don't know what to think of her.
Well, she even said that she wants to be in the know no matter what, which rightfully so, and everybody does.
Yeah,
but
why does anyone tell her if they all want her out? Why are you talking to her?
Right,
Well, she still has a vote, so.
Yeah. Well, and so so they start talking and chatting, and right off the bat, it's Chanelle, right? Everybody's saying, okay, the group of the 8 are like, all right, Chanelle,
of course,
Chanelle,
this
Chanelle.
makes Mike
well,
happy.
the group of the 7 now because Lydia's gone. Right, Mike's happy with it, right? But then they say, okay, we'll tell a couple of people that we want to get Romeo out just to throw him off.
Well, they do want to throw some votes on Romeo in case of a shot in the dark scenario or something odd happens.
But they brought Tori in on this with them this time, right? Tori was part of the initial discussion with Chanelle. Everything was good. Like, all right, Tori's on our page. But then when Tori's talking to Romeo, she tells Romeo, "Hey, I hear your name thrown out there," and it's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, why would you tell him that?
It might be smart for Tori because she's not a part of that group, so any chaos she can start in that group might actually be good for her in the end.
But I think at this point she thinks she is part of that group because they brought her in right there,
I don't
man.
think I think she knows she's not part of a group.
Yeah, maybe. But then she tells Romeo that, and then of course he gets super paranoid and starts asking everybody questions, which is really pissing everybody off.
Romeo is like interviewing everybody here.
Yeah.
No, he literally
because she says that Roxroy was the one who said that he didn't say his name, but that he had told her he had heard his name. Yep. So then he went straight to Roxroy and's like, "Who said my name?" And they never show him telling.
And I just think that's so messy. If someone gives you a piece of information, why are you going to go and burn that by saying, "This person told me this"?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And
especially when you're the paranoid one.
Right. Well, and especially now that Roxroy knows that Tori told him that, or Romeo that, after Roxroy's already iffy of Tori to begin with, and now it's like he's even got more ammo against her. Like, I can't trust this chick at all,
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell she was thinking.
So then he goes to
Omer.
No.
Who's he going to?
He can't. His little ally that can't look him in the. Oh, why can't I think of her name? Drea. He goes to Drea and says, like, "I feel like you're not even talking to me anymore. You're not communicating. You don't look at me." And then she's just like,
"Larry, we gotta get rid of this dude.
I need you to stop being paranoid."
Yeah, she's like,
"You should stop being paranoid." But like, she won't look at him. Right. And he was like, "That's not helping." So
here we got at first everybody's thinking Chanelle. But then after this happens, and Tori tells Romeo that, and he starts questioning everybody, and then everybody's like, well, crap, maybe we need to vote this guy just because he's too damn paranoid.
Yeah, and what's kind of surprising is High's like starting to lead the charge on getting rid of Romeo, and we saw just last week or last episode that those two were becoming pretty close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And High's like, nope.
I had no room for the paranoia, for the stirring up last minute drama.
High does not like chaos in the group.
He doesn't.
He's like, we have a plan, should stick to it.
That's the part that's alarming. Like if you have a plan, and then they said it was like 30 minutes before they left for tribal that all this started. So it's like you feel at peace at some point, and then you're like, now I got to scramble to talk to everybody.
Well, the thing is, you saw Omer hard at work again, doing what Omer does best, man. He's getting everybody on the same page, all that, and then it switches. But then you see Mike pulling Omer. Right, Mike kind of jumps in.
Mike is like, I hate Chanelle.
She's out of here.
I am not down for this. And I think he kind of like says Roxroy ain't down.
Yeah, and then
I don't even know they needed him, but he made a big deal of that.
He's like, well, we can get that one next week.
He's like, we can get Mr. Paranoid
and
later.
There's something about that, right?
Yeah,
like, there's always next week, and we need someone then.
Yeah, exactly. So he did a good job, kind of throwing back out there. Hey, I don't think this is good for the team. Let's stick with our original plan. It's a little bit too late to make a change here, and I was like, man, he's pulling little Omer moves there. So like Mike, High, and Omer now, I think are all pretty dang good negotiators, at this kind of stuff. So I was like,
I just think it's hilarious, like the grudge Mike is holding.
Oh, it is funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Because we don't see too much drama outside of that one event that happened with them too.
Yeah, no, that's true. But hey, that one
that
of them
was enough for him.
Well, it would have been for me too. I think it's like, why on earth did you put my name out there?
Yeah.
When it doesn't make sense, and then you're like, I can't trust this person, and everything probably coming out of their mouth, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I can't blame Mike for that. But then we go to Tribal.
And Tribal, High puts it out there.
I dropped some knowledge on
High
Tribal.
puts it out there. Like, he's basically...
He's a pretty honest guy.
Oh,
so
he
He
is. Oh, yeah.
practically turned around and looked at Romeo and said,
You're paranoid.
you're paranoid. You started this drama. We're voting for you. He didn't say it.
But
he might as well
Might as well. Yeah,
Paranoid
exactly. Well, and then you got Jeff playing like 20 questions with everybody, more so than normal.
You know that
to the point
Tribals-
where I'm like, Jeff, shut up and let's get to the voting, man.
But you know, tribals are like 2 hours long. So like he asked, that's
Really?
all. Yeah, they're like
wow.
it's very heavily edited to what plays towards the actual.
Well, they
scenario
probably
that
have to
plays
do
out.
that to kind of manipulate the audience a little bit. And
Well,
like,
it's
we
also
gotta
to
keep 'em guessing
manipulate them
constantly.
a little bit. Like he's
Right.
gonna have to, if he asks High, what do you think? Like he's probably gonna ask everybody at that point, so
Yeah.
that to give him the opportunity to kind of like throw shade one way or.
Oh yeah, and he
Switch it up.
definitely gave enough time for
Yeah.
everybody to throw shade this time around. He was asking everybody questions, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, just shut up and let's get to the vote, Jeff. Come on, man.
So you
I'm ready.
think it's between Chanelle and Romeo, and you thought it was Chanelle, and then last minute you might be thinking Romeo. But Mike's not on board, so
But
you
then
don't really
he
know what's
asked if
going on.
anyone is gonna play the shot in the dark, and
And nobody.
nobody does.
Yeah,
And I'm
surprised.
looking at Romeo like. You're so paranoid, and basically High just told you, if you're paranoid, you should probably like count
Right, exactly. Count yourself days
yourself
numbered.
out right at this point
Yeah.
because like you started the pot.
Yeah.
One vote goes High, like I think it might even be the first one.
And I called it right off the bat because High called Romeo out there in Tribal. I was like, dude, that's got to be freaking Romeo voting High. And of course,
But that's that's the dumbest vote ever.
Oh, it was dumb, no doubt about it. Because at that point,
If you don't have anyone on your side, like, oh, I'm this person,
right, and when nobody else, nobody else is going to vote
that
for that
probably
guy.
actually hurts you than helps you
Oh, yeah.
because as we saw with Mike that one time, that ruined that relationship. So, High's like, oh, okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
you better hope you're gonna be in trouble if you don't go home today.
Right.
yeah, exactly.
So
And we looked at the votes. Did High vote? Did High end up voting for Romeo, or did
No,
High?
he voted Chanelle, if I remember correctly. I think he voted Chanelle.
yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty.
I mean, it went down
So
just.
it's like
it went-
Chanelle, like
It went down
Romeo.
exactly the way they wanted it to go down in the first meetings when they were talking about,
Yeah.
okay, we need to have a few people go
Right.
Romeo. So
I think even if Romeo would have voted, like it wouldn't have really made a difference. So
yeah,
either way, but
yeah, because Romeo had 3.
he was
Chanelle
going to
had
vote for
6.
Chanelle, I guess. So it would have been even more.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
that. So, but anyways, Chanelle is the one voted off.
Yeah.
And then they show Mike's face as
that grin.
she got voted off, and he has a smirk on his
Yeah,
face.
he just
that-
smiling, boy. He just loving it. He's like, yes,
I love
yes,
it. I
ding
think it was
dong,
High.
witch is dead.
Was it High that said, "We love you, we love
Yeah,
you,
we love you." She's like,
we love
uh-huh.
you, Chanelle," and she's looking at like as her torch is getting. She's like, "Okay,
Yeah, she's like, whatever.
She says, uh-huh.
yeah, sure."
Love you, Chanelle.
Hi, Chanelle.
Hi, Chanelle.
Sure.
Hi, Chanelle.
Yeah, okay, right.
You love me,
As
I'd
I-
still be there.
As I'm leaving,
She made things awkward, though, like near the end.
How's
I
that?
don't know.
Well, just because people would talk about her, she'd like roll up on them, and it was very awkward.
Oh, yeah,
Last
yeah,
week,
no,
yeah.
yeah, last week.
I
That's
mean, I
true.
don't
This
really
week she
know if she
played it
had
pretty cool.
anyone like advocating for her, really. You know what I mean?
Nah,
No.
not this week. This
Like,
week, yeah, it was
she
all.
didn't even have like normally someone has like one person they're like super tight,
Yeah.
and they don't really show anyone with her.
No, she definitely, unless they just edited it out, but yeah, she definitely did not have that tight buddy this time, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised neither one of them played their shot in the dark.
Yeah, I think
mean, at
next
this
week
point in
Romeo
time-
might next week or
I
next
think
episode.
at this point in time, like if you know your name's mentioned, play the shot in the dark.
Well, and the thing is, what we saw too, we know coming up the next episode, gonna be 2 people voted out. So, and Romeo, it automatically showed him like, oh crap. So,
Well, there's 2 people safe too.
and there's 2 people safe. Yeah,
Yeah. Tori's gonna have someone else to wear the other necklace with her.
right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting since Tori's such a target, but now Romeo, I bet High is going to be gunning for Romeo first and
Oh, yeah.
foremost, and he is a pretty big influencer on that group.
Yep.
So
I think it's gonna be
Well,
Tori and Romeo. Is the 2
Who
that
do they
he's
go
gotta
with
get
if Tori wins again?
rid of. Yeah.
Like if she pulls like a Xander and she wins again.
I don't know if Tori's going to be at the top of the list next week, though. It might be Romeo.
Well,
Okay, but
there's
if
2,
Tori
though.
wins again,
So it'd be
and
Tori
there's 2
Romeo.
leaving, and Romeo,
Yeah.
who else?
If Tori
Who's
doesn't
the
win,
next?
if Tori doesn't win, it's gonna be her and Romeo. I think are gonna be the 2.
Right, but if Tori's safe, no one's listening.
Then-
Again, if Tori's safe and Romeo
it's
is
gonna be-
the first one out, who's the next on the chopping block?
Probably Tori and Romeo. No, maybe Marianne. I don't know. 'Cause, they talked about Marianne last week, so maybe Marianne.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of annoyed with her.
Yeah, Marianne.
I'm getting annoyed with these guys.
But I thought Jonathan would start pissing people off. But the thing is, he wins the team competition,
yes,
but he does not win the individual. So I think that kind of plays in his favor a little bit.
Right, yeah, definitely. Because he's helping everybody out. So, yeah, Tori and Romeo, right?
Oh, is that right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, they did throw Marianne's name out earlier, so she probably is the third person at this point.
Okay.
She just hoping her little cry fest this week is going to, kind of maybe hopefully save her some next week. Or next episode.
Did anyone go up in your book this week?
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked Mike, but he definitely went up in my book as far as the social game this week because he was able to get back in there and kind of steer people back to Chanelle whenever they were trying.
He was on a mission for that.
So. Oh yeah, no, that was good. So I appreciated that, and Mike, like, damn, good job, Mike. Because before I was, I mean, he's always been a nice guy, but you never really seen him strategically kind of.
But Chanelle's not a big threat though at the same time.
Right, but yeah, he was still able to get her to freaking go home. Vice Romeo, who is paranoid and running around.
What
like
do you
crazy,
consider a threat? Someone who can win the competition?
Someone that has a lot of influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has none.
But she doesn't have influence, but she can stir up the drama.
But not as much as Romeo though. Romeo was.
I don't think Chanelle can convince anyone at this point to sway their vote too much.
No, Romeo was stirring up the drama. He's talking to everybody, so who knows what his mouth's going to spew. So I'd have got her in him.
But he also knows he can't trust Chanelle. Like that's not a guaranteed vote. Like if they have a decision on a vote, and they decide we're going to vote this person, and have that conversation with her, he can't trust she's actually going to go along with that vote.
No, he can't.
So
who's the most dangerous person in the game right now?
Tori. Tori keeps stirring up the pot. Like I said, they had a plan to go Chanelle, and then Tori mentions to Romeo, "Oh, they're voting you." And so as far as just somebody who's a snake and who's able to stir stuff up, I'd say Tori.
And she's winning competitions.
Yeah, she's winning competitions now.
She's noticing the paint and probably is like, I'm going to bookmark that for future use.
She's probably noticed a lot more than just due to editing. Yeah. We don't know about it.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Omer's,
with his social game,
yeah, I think he's climbing the ladder as far as like someone to consider things.
Mm-hmm.
High, I think I would say High, but he's got to like. There's a fine line with the way he speaks out in Tribal, and like I foresee him like pissing someone off eventually.
Reveal a little too much at Tribal.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I think he did it on purpose. I think he was telling Romeo, "Hey man, you're freaking on,
but why would
you're
you
on
do
the
that,
list."
To like maybe go like it is Tori, we still need you for that, maybe.
Or maybe just to scare him enough to be like, you need to chill out in the future. You know what I mean? Maybe just give him that warning. This is your warning. Because especially when the vote when Chanelle got voted out, but now at least Romeo's warned, like, hey man, you need to chill out and stop being so damn paranoid, and playing 20 questions with everybody.
When's the time to use like an idol in a creative way?
Probably would have been this episode for somebody.
But like someone normally will place an idol on someone else to get who they really want out, and like Drea is just like gobbling these things up.
Well, we didn't even say what Drea's reward was. So she gets the reward where she gets to ask somebody, "Do you have an idol or advantage?" And if they say, and if they do, then she gets to take it from them.
Yeah, and that's a huge
she got that one.
That is huge.
Yeah,
now,
so that's what she got.
That's a huge blind side.
Now she has 4.
She needs to keep that a secret because we noticed last time that kind of backfired. Well, actually, the way they played it out, it didn't, but. It could backfire if she let somebody know. So she needs to keep that one a secret.
She needs to tell nobody.
Nobody, not a single person.
One thing is, too, does that work for amulets, too? Because she's got one of the amulets. What if she tells one of the other people who has an amulet, do you have an amulet? And they say, yes, they have to give it to her. Then does that automatically mean that one of the amulets is out? So then the amulet's stock raises? Remember? Because
I don't like the way that you're saying amulet because it sounds like ambulance.
Amulet. It sounds like ambulance. Amulet. Because remember the amulets. Remember the amulets become more powerful.
I can't unhear it. It's ambulance.
The amulets become more powerful when somebody who has one leaves, right?
But I think she could steal that.
What if she steals it and then has 2? Yeah. Does that mean now, technically, there's only 2 amulets instead of 3? And then now those amulets are, leveled up and worth something more?
Yeah.
I think she would probably still have the choice, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Does she know who
like,
has
I want to combine these.
I
want to keep them separate.
Right. Yeah, she knows. They all know. They all got it together. Remember, they all 3 got it together in the beginning.
Yeah, I
first
can't remember.
Episode. Yeah.
There's no one talking about using a power play like that.
Mm-hmm.
No. Mm-mm.
So that'll be interesting when that starts to happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool.
And then you got a preview into Lindsay and Jonathan kind of
getting into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once if Romeo goes and Marianne goes, then I think it's going to start getting real interesting.
Yeah, because they have easy targets right now. Like the whole as a group, there's like 3 people.
Well, and Tori's
on
an
the
easy target
bottom.
too, right? If she,
So there's like 3 people on the bottom of the big group, but once those 3 people are gone, it's like who's really on the bottom.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That's episode 7 down. Please let us know what you think here. Hit like and subscribe, and tell us what you think about how this went down. Do you think Romeo should have gone? Should have been Chanelle? I personally think it should have been Romeo, but Mike got his way, and good on him for that, And hey, we'll check you guys in our next discussion.
See you guys.
See ya.
Smash that like button. Smash that like button. Smash it. Punch it good.
Subscribe. Yeah.
Maybe you're exhausting me.
You're a hypochondriac. Huh? Do you know how many times in the last 2 years you have said, I think I got the Rona? Like, I don't know, 20 times, and you've never had the Rona. That's by choice.
Can you believe what they put me through?
That's by choice.
In my own home.
That I pay for.
Hey guys, welcome to the Gedunk. I'm Josh.
Hey guys.
There you go.
Like people at work, like associate me with Nick Cage because I think he's sexy. Yeah.